Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Christmas Special panel here at ConTinual. I'm your host, Gail Z Martin, and tonight we're going to talk about those wonderful Doctor Who Christmas specials through the years that are just kind of part of the holiday season. But first, I'm going to let my wonderful panelists introduce themselves. Angela, why don't we get started with you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Angela Pritchett. I am an author, makeup artist, writer, actress, do a lot of different stuff. I am the author of Shut Up and Eat, the unofficial Doctor Who Series 8 and Series 9 cookbook that you can find on Amazon if you guys like to cook and like Doctor Who themed stuff, which if you're watching this, I think you do. And yeah, you can also find me at these places too.
Awesome. Maya?
Hi, I'm Maya Preisler. I'm an author, an artist, and content creator, a huge Whovian. I have made several TARDISes that you may or may not have seen if you've been around the art shows of the East Coast Convention Circuit.
And Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin, and I'm really enjoying my invisible cup.
I was going to say, depending on how you move that, your cup phases in and out. It's kind of a TARDIS cup. Yes, there you go.
It's sonic.
It is.
Hey, I'm Darin. I practice medicine by day and I write books at night, and I like to watch Doctor Who. Let's go.
There we go. So if you had to explain the whole Christmas special concept to someone who had never seen Doctor Who before, how would you do that? Maya?
I would start by saying that Doctor Who is a variety show, and then it changes from week to week. And that one of the best parts about that is that every year there's sort of a love letter from the show hosts to the fans, and that's our holiday present from them.
Nicely put. Darin?
I would say, at least in New Who, it was one of the funniest running gags of the show. The whole thing, after you got to the fourth one, and they're like, well, where is everybody? I'm like, well, nobody stays in London at Christmas. Every Christmas, something horrible happens. Don't you remember whenever the Christmas trees tried to kill everybody, or this, that, or the other? And when they did that, that was there. I don't think there's anything I like better than meta. Everything I write is a little bit meta, and the things I enjoy watching, like Community and Doctor Who, it's all extremely meta. But when they like take the meta to the next step like that, that really entertains me.
Angela?
It's a Christmas tradition. That's the best way for me to like explain the Doctor Who Christmas special. It's like Maya said, it's a variety show. It's almost like a sitcom. They would always have that Christmas special every year to like, you know, show the holiday, and Doctor Who's just happens to have like aliens and Christmas trees that'll kill you type things going on in them as well. So the Christmas specials are some of my favorite ones. So I'm excited for this panel.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a madman in a blue box who is an immortal alien who protects the world and shows up every year, at least at many times, but at least at Christmas, to protect us from world-ending, terrible alien incursions that just happen to try to kill us with our Christmas decorations or something like that. It's a pretty cool concept. But now you brought up it being some of your favorites. Darin, what are some of your favorite Christmas episodes with the Doctor?
I have two. I like them all, but for me, my favorite moment, I think we talked about this in the last panel, my favorite moment of all of Doctor Who is at the end of the Husbands of River song, which is, I believe that was Christmas for sure, because it's very Christmas. And the moment where she realizes who he is, that's my favorite moment of the entire show. But I think my favorite Christmas episode is the fact that somehow Matt Smith got to go out not only with like one of my favorite episodes, but the fact that it was a Christmas episode where he went out was just a stroke of genius. I mean, it takes the quintessential thing of Doctor Who, the transferring to the next person, simultaneously with the Christmas episode, with Matt Smith giving one last speech, screaming at the sky. All of it's great. All of it's wonderful. Love it.
Angela?
Okay, so one of my favorites is Voyage of the Damned. I love Kylie Minogue and the fact that they put them on a spaceship at Christmas time, which it was weird Christmas time because it wasn't like Earth, but it was still, they were still celebrating it. That was just a really fun one to me. And that was Kylie Minogue, or Astrid Perth's outfit was one of my first Doctor Who cosplays, like for modern Who. So it's another one that just kind of has this place, a sweet place in my heart. And then the other Doctor, which gets weirder after you have watched The Walking Dead and think about that actor in his Walking Dead role, and then think of it as being meta with Doctor Who too. It's kind of weird, but that's another one just because it's very Charles Dickensy, like with the whole storyline. And yeah, so those are two of my favorites.
How about you, Maya?
Also really loved the Husbands of River Song, like just the beauty of seeing those two actors in their craft together, really playing off each other, and the chemistry between them was really great. I also really love just sort of the way that Doctor Who has played with the idea of Christmas. Like, is it safe? Is it dangerous? Is it fun? Is it scary? Is Santa real? Is he not? Is the tree going to kill us? That touches on some of the diversity of Christmas myths throughout the globe. Like, I can never pronounce it, but the creepy skeletal horse that shows up in Welsh mythology that comes to your door and sings to you.
Mm-hmm.
I love how Doctor Who brings out some of those creepier Christmas elements.
So is Doctor Who, if you don't sing back, gonna come and drink all your beer?
So
I have one more.
yeah,
I can't believe that after I just put out a book based on A Christmas Carol last week that I didn't mention, well, the episode A Christmas Carol. If that doesn't make you cry, you have no soul, no business being out among the other humans. That is one of the most beautiful stories. And I mean, it's a story about people in suspended animation and flying sharks that go after buzzing things. And it's just all this random stuff. And it's such a beautiful story, even with all those completely random elements that in any other milieu just would completely seem nonsensical. It's beautiful.
so what is it about the Christmas specials that make them so special? I mean, yes, it's they're done at Christmas. Angela mentioned sort of a love letter to the fans, but how are they different from any other Doctor Who episode? Darin?
I think that it's different because each time you can see sometimes they're really having to like look, but it's the focus is more on the Christmas element. In some, not always actually. A lot of times the focus is more on the Christmas element and not as much on the main story. But then you have the Husbands of River Song, where it's literally the culmination of almost a decade of storytelling in that moment. So I think that it's probably more than what I said the first time. The writers recognize they're writing the Christmas special and they pull out all the stops and they said, this one has to be good. If the rest of the season was meh, which that's not really the case, but no matter what, this one has to be good, and they make sure it is.
Angela?
I feel like having the one-shot Christmas type specials also gives them a lot of authority to just be completely random. Because I mean, like, where else are we going to see episodes with Santa Claus and face huggers? Or like, you know, just random weird flying sharks and a love story. I mean, craziness altogether. It kind of just gives them, they're like, okay, this is the Christmas special. It doesn't necessarily have to make sense with the rest of the season. We can do this at Christmas, and as long as it doesn't change anything from our ongoing storyline there, we can just have fun. I mean, like, we had random superhero episodes. I mean, like, they just say it's at Christmas, let's just do whatever. So that's kind of what makes it fun, because you don't always know what you're going to get, because one second it could be Charles Dickens, next second they're on a spaceship, the next second there's a superhero that can fly around and save London. So
I really enjoyed that episode too.
it was fun.
I thought it was going to be, I was like, oh, this one's going to be kind of weak. And then I watched it and I'm like, wrong. That was beautiful too.
How about you, Maya?
I have to agree a lot with Angela. I think that I don't know, it's almost like baking Christmas cookies for them, that they know that they're going to be judged on it. And so they bring out all the stops and the extra special random ingredients that you don't expect to be in there. Many of the examples that both Darin and Angela have given, flying sharks, for example, that sounds like a bad Sci-Fi Channel special, but it's actually an awesome Doctor Who Christmas episode. And there's something about the magic of Christmas and the extra level of suspension of disbelief that makes it work.
Yeah, I think my two are probably the Christmas Invasion, because who doesn't like, menacing killer Christmas trees? That was just awesome. And then the Widow, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I just really, I'm not even a huge Narnia fan, but I love the idea of anytime you can crawl through anything and come out in another world, you kind of have me hooked.
And even with that one, it gave you the feeling of just what they were going through during World War II also. Like, crazy the amount of emotions that some of these episodes bring out.
I don't remember that one as well, but I do remember the ending of that the ending of that one I remember is so perfect. I don't remember the details of it, but I remember I thought that was a well done bringing together at the end.
So now that we've gone through your favorites, and I mean, if picking the Christmas special you like the least still means that it's a Doctor Who Christmas special, and so you still like it, it just means that, if you had to rank them, it would be at the bottom. Which one would you say isn't in your, top number to immediately rewatch come the season? Angela?
Thinking about that. I'm actually looking at the list of them, because that's really hard for me, because
Pulling up the
literally
list.
every Christmas I would watch these on DVD every year, because I would sit there with my mom, I would turn Doctor Who on and wrap presents. So there are some that I've seen fewer, probably the Snowman or stuff like that, but I still like them. I don't really have any that I would just be like, oh no, I never want to see that one again. So I really like them all. We got Nick Frost as Santa Claus, which again is probably one I've watched the least, but it's still fun because face huggers. But no, that's really hard, because there really isn't one that, yeah.
Okay, that's a fair answer. Maya?
I struggle to pick one too. I think the snowmen might be my least favorite, just because I really loved building snowmen as kids. And so I don't like the idea of thinking about them as being creepy. But that being said, I'm still going to watch it.
How about you, Darin?
I'm looking through the list. I would have to say probably Last Christmas. No. That's the one with Santa Claus. Yeah, Last Christmas. It was good. And it was another one, whenever I said they're going to have Santa Claus on it, it was kind of the same as Dr. Mysterio. I was kind of like, this is going to be weird. They're going too far afield. And then I ended up really liking it. But if I had to pick one not to watch in order, that one would probably be towards the bottom, but it's still a great episode.
Okay. How about the role of the companions in the Christmas episodes? Because, we have Donna Noble showing up in The Runaway Bride, which is a Christmas special, who's, one of the most fantastic companions, at least according to some fans. And yet the Christmas specials do tend to focus more, in many cases, not all, on the Doctor. which companions have stood out to you on the Christmas specials, and why? And River Song, we'll just take that out because that whole episode was about her.
As should all of them be.
Okay, Darin, you can start off.
I would listen to Alex Kingston read the phone book. She can start at A. I'll hang in there through at least K or L. Let's see. Companions. I actually think, I'm trying to remember why, but Matt Smith, he's alone for A Christmas Carol, isn't he? He's there. He has no companion. Am I remembering right? Because he's there. I don't remember. Am I having a brain?
Amy and Rory are on their honeymoon in that one.
Yeah.
They have vamoosed. I may change my thing. That one may be my favorite now that I have had a chance to process, because I love the Doctor alone basically being the three spirits and doing that and not having a companion. But then the young man who becomes Scrooge sort of becomes his companion. And I just thought that one worked so well and was so brilliant. So I'm going to answer your companion question with the one that doesn't have a companion. So take that.
I kind of have to agree with Darin in that I enjoyed seeing the Doctor by himself, and yet the Runaway Bride is an excellent example of a companion who was done really well. And so I would have to say one of the best things about the Christmas specials is the chance for, Scrooge or Donna Noble, somebody who is a companion who may show up later, or perhaps just a companion for the duration of the episode, but yet you get to explore that relationship really quickly and see how the Doctor develops trust and rapport with them. And I think that makes it fun.
I have a question for the group.
Sure.
I'm sure this is known. Did they know that Donna Noble was going to come back when they did that? Or is that one of those like happy coincidences where like, well, that was awesome, we should do that again? Or was that always going to be a setup for the third season of Tennant? Do y'all know? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I knew this at one time. I just don't remember now. But I can't remember if they had made it a one-off and then no, because I remember a lot of people did not like her in that episode, and then when they brought her into the TV show, people just ended up loving her.
Right.
So I think that was a setup for her to show up into the show, because I remember a lot of people did not like her dynamic in Runaway Bride, but when they brought her into the show, because the first people were like, oh, why are you bringing her in because of this? So I think it was a setup to bring her in.
Anybody that didn't fall in love with her as they were having the 2-window conversation with the adipose has no sense of humor, because that was one of the funniest comic moments of any show I've ever seen.
And Angela, did you have a chance to say about companions?
I didn't, but I kind of agree with Maya on the fact that the Christmas specials, whether they're with the Doctor's normal companions, they always end up setting up, because like the other Doctor, or even like Voyage of the Damned, they set up, he starts off without a companion and he ends up bringing in someone else, where it's Ashton Perth or the other gentleman who thought he was the Doctor. So it's one of those things where like a lot of them started off pretty well as solo stories of the Doctor going on an adventure and just kind of randomly picking up a stray. So it's always just that fun thing, because like I loved, like in Voyage of the Damned, I loved Ashton Perth. I would have loved to have seen her in other episodes. I was so sad when she died at the end of that. So it's one of those things where it's like they bring in this character and they make us love them, and then they tear them away from us in this happy Christmas episode.
You know what I've always thought about Voyage of the Damned is that has done for my storytelling, one of the most brilliant lessons I learned from that was they set up this entire cast and every single one of the people you loved, except for that one guy. And then when you get to the end, the one guy that you can't stand is the one that survives, and the doctor still has to save him. And I just always thought that was a very interesting storytelling technique.
So, and I want to come back to that storytelling technique, because in a way, the Christmas episodes are sort of like a bubble episode. They exist within the series, but not necessarily within the timeline for the season. And they sometimes they stand kind of apart. How does that work for you as a viewer with these episodes that aren't a natural continuation of the series? They're sort of part of it and not part of it at the same time. Maya.
I think it works for me in terms of Doctor Who being so wibbly wobbly, like given the River Song storyline, for example, or the random comments that Captain Jack makes where he seems to be at multiple places in the storyline. I think they've interspersed so much of that random, this might be important, it might not be important later, you don't really know, that my brain is able to handle it because I'm constantly looking at everything and wondering, will this be important later? And that's actually one of the things that I appreciate about Doctor Who, is that question of, will this matter later?
Darin, how about you?
Can you tell me the question again? I want to make sure.
Sure. It was that the Christmas episodes kind of seem to be in some ways a bubble that exists sort of separately from the season, and yet sometimes there are connections and sometimes there aren't. How does that as a storytelling element kind of work for you?
I think when you're trying to look the episodes up online to watch them in order, or teach somebody how to watch Doctor Who, it makes it a little bit difficult. You have to go, okay, watch all the Eccleston ones, and then watch the Christmas Invasion, then watch the first Tennant season, and then watch, so that makes it, I think it makes it a little confusing when you're trying to go back and watch. But I think each time they knocked it out of the park, finding a way to make it fit/not fit just right. I can't think of one where it didn't work. So that's
okay. Angela?
I kind of look at it like, this might be really weird meta looking at it. I kind of look at it like it's the doctor telling us a Christmas story. So we're kind of hearing it after the fact. So because it is so different that we don't necessarily know if it goes on in the universe of that season, or if it's just this fantastical story that, we see happening. Because with the exception of where Matt Smith like regenerates and stuff, for the most part, they don't always tie in, or the Husbands of River Song and stuff like that, where they actually brought them into the season. When they were normally just standalone episodes, we don't necessarily see where they fit in, or, stuff like that. So it kind of just gives me that whole sense of, it's Matt Smith sitting around a fire telling his companions Christmas stories type thing. Or the doctor, not Matt Smith.
Okay.
It's okay, Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Maya?
I need more tea.
He's my fave.
Are we still on the same question?
Yeah.
Okay. I already answered this one.
Okay. There we go. So what about the villains? We've had killer Christmas trees, we've had Cybermen, we've had all kinds of things. What are some of your favorite Christmas villains? And Angela?
Okay, so the giant mecha that we got. Let me see if I can find out which one that one was in.
That was the giant Cyberman.
No, I'm trying to see. Maybe
The one where she's all wired in and she's controlling
that's a Christmas special, right?
I think so.
That's what I'm thinking it was.
It's the next Doctor, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what okay, yeah, it is. Okay, because I was like, That's the one that with David Morrissey that I keep talking about, and that's the Cyber King. So yeah, the Cyber King, because it's a giant mecha in Doctor Who universe, so it's like freaking Gundam out there. Face huggers, because I saw that, and the first thing I was like, well, first we get Nick Frost as Santa Claus, and so that's pretty awesome, because like the second they were talking about Santa Claus being there, I was like, and then like Nick Frost as Santa Claus, I was like, okay, let's bring in more British comedians to have some fun with Doctor Who. But yeah, so the Cyber King face huggers from the, I know they weren't face huggers, but they were. So it's the, but the angels from the Christmas tree episode, because let me tell you, if a lot of kids were watching that show when that episode happened, like, because I taught middle school for years, and later on a lot of my students started watching Doctor Who, but when that aired they weren't. But I'm pretty sure some of them would have been terrified to play the trumpet if they had watched that and saw those creepy angels. But
Voyage of the Damned?
No, the Christmas Invasion.
Okay, I have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, so they have the Christmas trees that like spin around, and then they had the creepy angels in there too with their creepy trumpets. That was just like a cosmetic for them, but
right.
So, but I would think those three, and also it's like spinning Christmas trees that could like cut you in half is also kind of creepy when you think we put them up in our house every year and then they're going to attack us. So
nothing is safe.
Nothing's safe. No, my cute little light up snowmen may just come after me later.
They might. Maya?
I also really appreciate the creatures, particularly the ones like the snowmen, the Christmas trees, the angels that play on pre-existing symbols that are already part of the holiday, and then add that sort of creepy what if element to them. I think it's playful and fun. And one of the things that Doctor Who does best, I think, is take something and make it just creepy enough that you don't want to try it.
Yeah. I mean, we will never look at angel sculptures or statues again the same way.
I need to know when we're going to get an episode where those giant blow up lawn ornaments turn into death, like killing.
The Doctor's going to have to get one of those ones that's outside that does like this to fight them.
I can see that.
Because that's the Matt Smith dance anyway.
Some of your favorite.
I was going to say, I liked the angels from Voyage of the Damned, those gold angel things that pull their halos off and get you. I thought that was good. The Santa Clauses, that was the Santa Clauses that had the big tubas. Am I remembering right from back in the Christmas Invasion? And I think there's a scene where like Jackie and Rose come around the corner and they like see a bunch of Santa Clauses, and where most people would go, "Aw," they go, "Ah," because they know what's about to happen. So stuff like the same thing that everybody said, you know, turning it on its ear and taking something that we're supposed to love and making it scary. So love it.
So now, obviously, Doctor Who is it's a British institution at this point after some years, but it's a quintessentially British show. And the UK doesn't celebrate Christmas exactly the way, you know, we do here in the States. Are there some things that jump out to you as being very specifically British about the Christmas shows, and what would those be? Yeah, Darin.
I don't remember what they're called. Are they called poppers?
Crackers.
What is it?
Crackers.
Crackers. That was one thing that I don't think before I started watching Doctor Who, I don't even think I knew that was a thing. And I think they're neat, and I kind of want to do that once. I kind of want to like get some crackers, and is it you and somebody else pull it apart almost like a wishbone? Is that, I don't really even understand what they are. I just, every Christmas episode, they have them at the Christmas table, and when they're done eating, they play with, they do the thing.
You can actually get them here in the States and get them on Amazon. The way I've seen it done, the way we do it, you pull it apart yourself, and it has a minor explosive, sort of like those little bottles that you pull the string on and it throws all the confetti. And inside there's a paper crown, and usually sort of like a fortune cookie slip of paper, but it's usually a joke. And then some little minor toy or giveaway that could be anything from like a golf tee to sometimes we got one that everybody got a piece of music for, and everybody got a kazoo with a different note. So it's kind of all over the place.
Huh. That's cool. We should totally do that.
We should. That would be fun. Maya.
Some of the food items, I don't even necessarily know what they are, but I've seen them eating them at some of the holiday episodes, and I'm going, well, what is that? Like I recognize it as something that is apparently a traditional holiday item, but I've never seen it and I've never eaten it, and I don't even know what to call it.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody in the States probably had to look up Jammy Dodgers.
Yeah.
So, Angela.
The one thing, like, I knew they did it. I have a lot of family from England. So the one thing I knew they did that's just always weird to me because we're not used to seeing it are the little crowns on Christmas. So it's just one of those things where I see them wearing it and I'm like, that looks so strange to me. So that's good.
What would you love to see the Doctor do for a Christmas special that hasn't been done yet?
I would love to see Krampus.
Ooh,
That would be very.
Krampus looks good. Maya?
I would like to see some sort of historical, you know, like with Christmas Carol, we had sort of Dickens England, but I would like to see other historical celebrations since Doctor Who is ostensibly a children's history show. Let's travel to a different time and a different culture and look at how they celebrated Christmas. I think that would be interesting.
Well, that whole stretch back there with the Roundheads where they weren't allowed to celebrate Christmas. So that was kind of a blackout period where you couldn't really do that. But otherwise, yeah, merry old England. How about you, Darin?
They'll never do this, but tell me it wouldn't be interesting if the TARDIS was the Christmas star that led the wise men to Jesus.
Ooh.
They would never, ever do that. The one I've watched Doctor Who for a while now, and I was like, they never go back and like, there's about a 33-year period that they're not going to touch. It's from 1 to 33 AD that they're just going to like, we're not doing that because that's controversy lies there. But the TARDIS as the Christmas star, I think would be fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I could also, to add to that too, it would be really cool if because they probably won't touch this either, if they did like a pagan Yule type thing too. That would, I want to see Krampus.
It would be interesting if he actually went and met the actual Saint Nicholas.
Oh yeah.
He could almost bring Saint Nick forward like they did Van Gogh and show him at a part of his life where he's really low, that the entire world every single year, nobody wants to do anything but sit in his lap and tell him everything. And I don't know, that was a horrible way to say that, I guess, but yeah, sorry, just have that deleted. But
I don't know, with some of the entitled children out there, he may be like, ooh.
yeah.
Well, just that you know, for the month of December, probably the most beloved figure, and that he cheers everybody up. Yeah.
Hey, just bring him forward and let him watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's you guys.
No, Santa's kind of a jerk in Rudolph.
Yeah, you haven't watched the end, I guess.
Yeah. Even Santa gets a makeover in the end. Yeah, I think one of the things, Angela, to go back to your idea, is that, you know, in a lot of Christmas traditions, Santa, this whole thing about giving a piece of coal to the bad kids, they're getting off easy in some of these traditions. You know, sometimes Santa's got a helper who comes along and stuffs
I said
them
Krampus, bring him
into
in
a bag if they weren't good and carries them off.
Put him in
Yeah.
there. Put him in
But he's not the only
the
one.
basket.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got coal in your stocking? My kid is in the stocking.
My kid got put in a basket and whipped. What you talking about?
No, I'd love to see him, you know, protecting the children of London from, you know, getting carried off. That would be fun.
I can see the Doctor being Santa Claus to a alien monster Krampus. That would be something to watch.
Teaching
like it.
Krampus the meaning of Christmas.
What's that?
Teaching Krampus the meaning of Christmas, and that, you know, maybe there's one day out of the year you don't have to eat people.
And to my notion, as long as he's still healthy enough to do it, I think the current Doctor has to go get Tom Baker with his white hair to be Santa Claus to fight Krampus. That's what I want to see. BBC, make it happen. Tom Baker is Santa Claus.
There you go. Now, we've mostly talked about the reboot Who, but does anybody have anything to add from some of the classic Doctor Who Christmases? They weren't as regular an occurrence, but there are some that do exist.
I have no knowledge base of this, so you'll have to ask everybody else.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Christmas special from the classic episodes either.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I remember seeing from classic ones. I'm looking to see if I actually find a list.
Yeah, there are some certainly with Daleks, who seem to make the biggest appearance in the Christmas specials. Just curious to see how the tone or the handling of it might have changed, because there are so many things that are the same but substantially different from the classic episodes to the reboots.
Mhm.
Any of the locations that the Doctor has traveled to over the period of time that you'd, and these can be physical locations, or, as we've already kind of talked about a little bit, places in time that you'd love to see the Doctor go back and do a Christmas show there, revisit? Oh, stumped the panel. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, we're like, oh, our brain gears are going.
The thing is that the Christmas stories all are so well set. They're so well cast and so well set. But then most of the rest of the episodes are too. It's kind of hard to like sort of take that piece out and put that piece in. I'd have to give that some thought.
Now, The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe is a World War II story, but we don't have a World War I Christmas special, do we?
That's the that was the first Doctor and the 12th Doctor. They had the Christmas armistice as the main plot point of the episode. I'm right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was World War I, and that one is just another one that is just so brilliant. I mean, whenever you have war stop, so we celebrate Christmas. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine. I couldn't have imagined that they'd have skipped it, and I wasn't remembering that episode. But yeah, you're right.
And I love the person they have playing the first Doctor. He was also the one who played the first Doctor in the movie about the making of Doctor Who. He did such a great job. They said you can be the first Doctor. He was fantastic. Sorry, I'm not remembering names tonight. It's been a long day.
That's okay. It has been. So with all of that history behind her, how do you feel the newest Doctor has lived up to the Christmas special bar? The bar set pretty high.
Well, I mean, technically we
do you
haven't
think, Darin?
gotten a Christmas special with her. We've got New Year's specials.
Ah, okay.
Her first Dalek episode was a New Year one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
they-
the holiday special for this year we haven't seen yet.
So, well, we got so far there are two of them. There was the first episode with her resolution, and then there was Spyfall, which are the two that they have done for her, but they both came out January 1st. So
Do we know if one was filmed for this year? Because so much has been postponed with, the current
right now
unpleasantness.
it's called Revolution of the Daleks, and it says TBA.
Okay.
So
I liked both of hers with the New Year's. I think they almost wanted to take a little bit of a break because I think they were like the idea bag is a little empty and let's give it some time to come up with something. So giving her a couple New Year's episodes to do, and that does sort of set her apart in yet another way as being different from what came before.
Any thoughts on that, Maya?
I mean, I like both of those episodes, but the thing that I like about the Doctor Who holiday episodes is that they usually have quintessentially holiday elements that makes them specific to the holiday. And I didn't necessarily feel like either one of her episodes felt especially New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a quick controversial statement and then run screaming from the room. I think that one of the entire points of her is they've removed a lot of quintessential Doctor Who things and are doing something completely different. And I'm not saying I like that. I'm saying that seems to be the theme of her writing staff is let's do something completely different. I'm like, or you could do the thing that everybody loves. I'm going to stop talking now and go back to the Christmas talking. Yay.
Well, I mean, one of the things that immediately occurs to me when you say New Year's are, one is that it's a new beginning. So that's always interesting. And there are all kinds of traditions around New Year's that are a little different than what we do at Christmas. But New Year's is also, everybody has a January 1st and a beginning of a new year, regardless of their tradition. But a traditional holiday, i.e. Christmas episode, is not as universal for everybody, even if people are familiar with the elements, even outside of their own tradition. So in some ways, the New Year's piece is a little more inclusive because everybody has a New Year's.
well, but also the way they've set up the new Doctor Who and their companions, the companions themselves are so inclusive that we would get different types of holiday like traditions and such that we would see in a Christmas episode. So I kind of feel like they're setting that they could kind of do something a little different with it too while they're trying to be different.
I would say to counterpoint to that, I think the issue with that being that for example, Yaz and her family, if we truly want to have a holiday episode for them, then it needed to air this week for Diwali, because that's really the big New Year festival of lights for her culturally, which doesn't really occur near Christmas at all. And so I can see Gail's argument to the inclusivity of it, but it would be interesting too to have a Diwali special. Perhaps the Doctor goes back in time and explores one of the origins of where this festival of lights came from. Like, that would be really cool.
It's always fun in my neighborhood. The Christmas lights go up on a lot of houses at the beginning of, at some point in November. And I'm going, my first thought is, wow, people took advantage of that nice weekend to get their lights up. No, it's Diwali. Everybody's multi-purposing the Christmas lights because, it's easier than setting off all the fireworks, although we usually get that too. But you get to enjoy all the lights early, which is a bonus. Darin, any thoughts from you besides, running screaming from the room?
Nope.
Okay. Well, folks, is there any point you wanted to make about the Doctor Who Christmas specials that I haven't thought to ask? Because we are, believe it or not, coming up to the end of our time.
Bring back River Song
So say we all.
for the next one.
I mean, maybe we just need to have a Christmas special where they all get together and have dinner and something crashes it.
Yeah.
All the old companions in there. Like, let's get some Captain Jack and everything in there.
You can never have too much Captain Jack. Well, folks, thank you so much for being here tonight and talking about Doctor Who Christmas. Let's go around one more time and let everybody know where they can find you. And Darin, let's start with you. Oh, he
He just ran screaming from the room.
He just been screaming from the room.
So, speaking of Christmas things, my book Carol just came out this past week, and it's a modern day retelling of a young adult Christmas Carol. And there is no time traveling. Well, actually, there is, but not with a TARDIS. So check it out.
There you go, Maya.
You can find me across social media as Maya Preisler. Hopefully there we go. You can also find me at mayarenee.com or mayapreisler.com. And I would love to geek out with you about Doctor Who.
Awesome. And Angela.
Hey, you guys can find me at any of these places online. You can also find me on Amazon if you look up Angela Pritchett, or Shut Up and Eat, the unofficial Doctor Who cookbook. And yeah.
I love it. Everybody brought all these, visual aids to hold up. I'm pretty easy to find too, as Gail Z Martin, or on my paranormal romance side as Morgan Bryce. So just take a look at the spelling there in the corner, and I'm pretty easy to find. Well, folks, thank you so much for being here tonight. And thank you, folks, for watching us and making Doctor Who a part of your Christmas. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more holiday good stuff to come here on ConTinual.